Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. Before I forget, I know I promised I was not going to forget this. I forgot it immediately. So, we're going to activate machine guns for all of our armies. This is just sensible. This is just the way, a reasonable way for things to go. An agitator, Miguel Oyarzabal, an anarchist associated with the rural folk. That's interesting. I think I'm going to continue to decrease home affairs investment for now. And maybe that'll give us enough capacity to get all the way to the top with workplace safety. We'll see. I'm going to continue to keep an eye on our trade routes. This route is not useful. This route is Garbo. These two routes are Garbo. And this route, that's really weird. I'm going to give that one a second to sort itself out. Game runs really slow when you're in the trade screen. A lot of factors to recalculate. The Ligurian League. That's curious. And they're a religious convocation. Well, that's curious. Sardinia Piedmont, don't make me come over there. Sardinia Piedmont, I don't have any infamy right now. Sardinia Piedmont, you be careful. You damage relations too much, and I could turn you into a protectorate. Well, fine. We'll see what happens. I don't want to have to fight Austria, but I will. I don't know why Sardinia Piedmont considers me a valid rival, but they do. Alright, so how much... Oh, interesting. I can't puppet them because they're a major. But I could steal Sardinia. Austria would fight. I don't know if the United States would fight. Two Sicilies would potentially help me. Papal States would help them. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Maybe if Austria is occupied. Oh my. A Vietnamese radical revolt. Okay, concerning the capital once again. That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and bring in the Royal Guard. You know what, Two Sicilies? I will defend you. Protests across Galicia. The Japanese national movement has organized mass protests across the Galicia region. While the protests have remained peaceful for now, local authorities have raised concerns about possible violence. It was more people than you'd ever seen. Vigo, once quiet and known for an almost pastoral character, had come alive with shouting voices and waving flags. He wondered if any of his neighbors were in that crowd. He'd always thought he shared nothing in common with them. Perhaps he had been wrong. I'm going to allow them to air their concerns. Well, no. The authorities must halt these displays. I'm going to deal with. I'm going to be careful against this Japanese national movement because I don't want them to pop off another civil war. All right, need more commanders for the Royal Armada. Let's go ahead and get this guy. He's a traditionalist aligned with the armed forces. Then we got another guy aligned with the armed forces. He's a Republican. We'll put him in charge as well. And let me see. All the other dorks are Catholic Church dorks. So I'm just going to give this guy a little promotion. And that'll get us the command capacity we need. Hanover wants to give us investment rights. No thank you. I would rather beat it out of you. In fact, what are my... Oh no, relations are too good. I can't just steal territory from them. Well, that's okay. That's very okay. Alright, I think I'm going to throw all of the Power Bloc statues that we haven't really started working on yet below the ports, and that'll get us some more trade capacity. And hopefully that'll be just fine, and we won't have ourselves a problem. A shortage of opium, that's interesting. All of our opium plantations are in other countries, right? Ooh, I got a modern port production method. It's going to take a lot more oil. Let me see, 68, or really 76 times 5. Nicaragua sides with Mexico over an Anahuacan uprising. Interesting. Oh my goodness. It's huge. Mexico. Ooh. Excellent. I can get a protectorate over Mexico. Wonderful. Excellent. Alright, so we'll send the Iberian Expeditionary Force. Don't want a trade agreement with you, Hanover. And then we'll send the Interior Defense Force and the Territorial Army to the other front, and then all will be well. Excellent! I got Mexico back! I restored our historical empire. Except for, you know, all the territory the United States has eaten. Rio Grande and Durango. And, you know, all this stuff. Ooh, there's rubber in Mexico. Excellent. How's the opium situation? How's the opium situation? Opium situation is still a little bit dicey. So, do we have opium plantations? We do. And they're largely in Tonkin, which is producing a ton of opium, actually. Ah, but they're in Tonkin, which is in rebellion? No, they're not. Yes, they're in Tonkin, which is in rebellion. That's why we're not getting all that opium. Alright, beautiful. That's fine. I figured it out. I figured it all out. I got Mexico back! The Devil's Paintbrush. General Jaume de Laurier y Dalmases' use of dedicated machine gun teams in the Vietnamese radical revolt versus Dai Nam War has yielded advantageous results on the field of battle, leaving full platoons of enemies dead before they even reached our lines. If anyone had told me that it would be possible to make a gun that would pull a cartridge belt into position, pull a loaded cartridge out of it, move it in front of the barrel, thrust it into the barrel, close the breech in a proper manner, cock the hammer, pull the trigger, fire off the cartridge, extract the empty shell, and throw it out of the mechanism, feed a new cartridge into position, and do all these things in a tenth of a second, I would not have believed it, but now here I have seen it with my own eyes. Options are, whatever happens, we have got the maximum done and they have not, 20% extra defense, or Jaume de Lauder y Dalmas' mastery of the tool is unparalleled. He gets Stalwart Defender. I'm definitely going to go with the second one. Stalwart Defender is a very good long-term benefit and very useful overall. I don't know where this army's going, but I'm glad they're at sea in this crucial time early on in the war when we're in a very good position to attack and take a lot of territory. That's that pleases me. Iberian Expeditionary Force needs another leader. I think. Did one of them die or something? We'll get this this armed forces guy up in here. Lubeck wants to give us investment rights? I think not. Alright, so battles are going well. We've moved the front forward significantly. We've split the front a little bit, so I'm going to transfer some forces over to the northern front. Oh my goodness. We've fully conquered a bunch of territory, and we've got a new mandate available. Wonderful. Alright. This is excellent. And Mexico is going down in Liberty Desire very fast, because they're extremely dependent on me economically on account of all the buildings that I built in Mexico. Excellent. Oh, this is delightful. I've got a new mandate available. Let me just quickly knock out the rest of this war. And let's just put an eyeball on what's going on over here in Tonkin. Alright, we are winning in Tonkin as well. 51% occupation there, so that should be fine. Alright, so both of these wars are successes, from my perspective. Korean Modernist Revolt. Well, I could step in, but let's keep our eyes on the prize here. Alright. And this should be solving itself shortly. Oil discovered in Elba. Interesting. Workplace safety is complete. We'll do one more level. Alright, so those are our wars. Now, let's take a look at our power block. I think I want transport infrastructure 3. By the way, so external trade 3 will let us trade without an interest. That's not super useful to me. So we'll go up to transport infrastructure 3. That gives us extra land trade capacity. It also unlocks the joint trains production method. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll see how those production methods look. Where are we here? Railways. Apparently we bonked back to experimental trains. Alright, let's go to joint steam trains. We want to always be subsidizing, right? Yeah, I think so. Oh, not privatizing. Subsidizing. Whew. Almost sold my trains. Almost sold my railways. So this gets us extra infrastructure, I bet. I bet that's what that does. Rail transit for the oil rigs, that does do them better. What about maximum? Yep, maximum works. Logging camps. Steam donkey, do you like it better? Not really. Stay at horse-drawn. Stay over there. What else? Tea plantations, you like rail transport? Yes, you do. Silk plantations, you like rail transport? Basically, yes. Can't get more labor-saving methods for farms quite yet. Electric fences for livestock ranches? Actually, kind of less productive. We'll go back to just using barbed wire. Alright. Labor-saving methods for steel mills. That does make them more effective. What about rotary valves? It does. Motor industries. I'm liking it so far. Good. Excellent. I'll do the same for the tooling workshops. They like it. And they like it. Paper mills. They love it. Excellent. Alright. Okay. Mechanized looms, very good. Could put some of these on elastics, but I don't think it's wise. We don't have that much rubber in the customs union. I'm actually going to go full labor saving for all of my military industry. This is just it makes them unproductive because we're not in a war, but you know, there are plenty of circumstances that they can use them in, and it'll allow them to mobilize faster when the time comes. We'll continue to export ammo to various markets. And all of our other military stuff as well, because, you know, everyone likes to buy our guns. I'm not going to set these on export focus just because I don't want to goof myself up with them. Alright, so I think next step on what we need to do is reduce Mexico's autonomy, because Mexico should be a subject once again. Oh, this is delightful. I did it. I restored part of the empire. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm so full of myself. Full of myself level extreme. So I think part of the reason loyalists are so high right now, and part of the reason our reduction in internal affairs is not actually affecting this that much, is because we're getting a huge increase to loyalists from social movements from our Power Bloc statues. In addition to getting us a little bit of prestige, they're also giving us infrastructure. That's right. That's right. I was going to check on that, but then I goofed with my railway production methods, and now I have no way of telling anything. Other than that, I have 1 million infrastructure available in the home country, so that's good. I'm a success. I just built one, so we'll see if that's continuing to increase it. Oh my. Baltic Governorates, what's going on with you? Alright, I don't think it is. That's okay. United Baltic Province is a peasant revolt. Well, we'll go ahead and send the Royal Guard over there. Should be just fine. Aotearoa is having a little uprising. Good for them. How did Great Britain get a hold of all of this? Those fools. Oh yeah, I was going to steal Bali. Let me see. Java will try to stop me. That's okay. I can steal parts of Java. I'm doing it. Alright, so we'll send the expeditionary force. No reason to be silly with any of this. And if Java decides to fight, then Java will fight. And that'll be what it is. I think I'm going to mobilize the rest of my forces just in case. I'm not going to start conscripting, though, because I don't think that's necessary. Home Affairs is dropped to level 3. And that does give us the capacity for the rest of the workplace safety, which I do want to do because population is our lifeblood. For a non... and Java sides with Bali. Alright. Beautiful. Iberian Expeditionary Force in front. I'm going to bring in, I think, the Territorial Army. Here, and I am going to raise conscripts for them. Obviously, this is costing me a pile of cash, but it's going to be worth it. So, Java, what can I steal from you? It'd be a lot of infamy if I stole East Java. Not as much if I stole the Sunda Isles. So I think I'll steal the Sunda Isles. Maybe Western New Guinea as well. It's a front with Britain. I don't love that. What about the Moluccas? Moluccas are moderate. I'm just going to steal the Sunda Isles. And what I'll do is I'll move those into Bali. And that'll be fine. That's a perfectly reasonable amount of infamy for me. I don't need any more infamy than I have to get. Force comparison up here in the United Baltic Provinces is looking just fine. So I'm not necessarily worried about that either. I'm actually almost done with this construction queue, so I might just let it finish out. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of time to actually build all these Power Bloc statues. Then again, I could pause it if I didn't want to get my interest too high. On the other hand, it doesn't seem like this war is going to actually go that long. So maybe we'll just keep things nice and relaxed. But do I want to get stupid? No, I don't think so, because I want to get could I bring in Great Britain? All right, no, thank you. Because I want to work on getting Mexico to become a puppet, and it's going to be harder to do that if I get myself a bunch of infamy. Fruitful endorsements. In gesture of solidarity with the Patriotic Union, Diogo Freire de Andrade has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Patriotic Union has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving Iberia forwards under their name. He has our thanks, certainly, 30% momentum, or his endorsement would best be more specific. Stronger rural folk, but only 20% momentum. I'm actually going to go with the second one. We're gonna keep our rural folk strong. Patriotic Union is still projected to get a large chunk of it. There's the Baltic Peasant Revolt. Not really worried about that. A monument to the Empress. A statue of Isabel de Bourbon was commissioned and has been suggested to be displayed proudly in Valencia. Reserved is how you would describe the look on the face of the statue when it smiles down on you, eyes that flicker in the opposite direction of the sun. Though maybe you are just imagining it. A monument worthy of the Empress, a small number of radical pops, 3% prestige, or perhaps that everyone wishes to be reminded of the entrance of the Empress, Catholic Church, upset. I'm going to go with the first one. Give me that prestige. Bali backs down. Well, that's exciting. Bully for me. And Japan wants an alliance. Not this time. Wow, relations are really bad. Relations are really, really bad. Alright, so, do I give them knowledge sharing? I don't think so. I think we weather it on this. I think we just let it be. Alright, well that's wild. I'm glad they backed down. That makes things easier for me. False democracy. Miguel Oyarzabal has issued a condemnation of the Iberian electoral system, endorsing abstention from the voting what he calls a sham put on to placate the people. Oh gosh. In the dictatorship of the reactionary, of the rich and powerful, obscured from the view of the people by the facade of democracy, the best thing one can do is demonstrate the futility of such a guise, so that the people may be spurred to action regardless of concession. The government must know we see through their system, reduce legitimacy, reduce momentum for the Patriotic Union, extra momentum for the Catholic Party, 2% of rural folk pops become more radical. Discrediting the system is the next step towards revolution, 10% of rural folk pops become more radical. Reduce legitimacy, reduce political strength per vote, reduce momentum for the Patriotic Union, increase momentum for the progressives, or their supporters aren't voting, ours certainly are, increase momentum for the Free Trade Party. Ugh, this is terrible. Why would you do this to me? You're in the government. I'm gonna go with the last one because I don't want the radicals. Oh, that's frustrating. Wow, we're actually really short on convoys right now. So let's go ahead and build up some port facilities. I know this is temporary on account of we're transporting a bunch of troops, but like I don't want to be in that situation, so you know, we'll build it up. Almost got complete control of Karland, and that will be the end of this war once we get it, and then our finances will be doing a lot better. Shazam! Beautiful. Much better. Far superior, in fact. Admiral Gaspar Ortega has died. me see, all these guys are Catholic Church guys. We'll promote this guy again. And we'll promote this guy a little bit, even though he's a traditionalist. You know what? Okay, Japan. We can have a defensive pact. And in fact, why don't you give me investment rights? Excellent. And why don't you give me a Power Bloc embassy? Oh my gosh, they're 18 million in debt. That's not worth an obligation. Campaign financing. Parties, particularly the Patriotic Union, are struggling to raise enough funds for all their campaigning needs this election. Let's see what you men are charging. Fees, yes, that's to be expected, but what's this lodging charge? That fancy hotel room could house half a village. There's enough wine billed here to drown a fish. Votes don't come cheap, sir. You do want to win, right? Some money can be spared for them, increased momentum, government expenses. Every party can be funded, extra opposition is your screw approval, but large government expenses. Or, if a party can't afford a campaign, should be campaigning, reduce momentum. I'm going to go with the first one. I got to keep the momentum up for the Patriotic Union, because they're our ruling coalition. So Japan. Japan, my friend. What kind of leverage? We're going to get more. A lot of unclaimed leverage in your country. Reasonable. Let's see what I can invest in. Tea plantations, tobacco plantations. Tobacco plantations, tea plantations. Logging camps, fishing wharves. Textile mills. Textile mills again. Fishing wharves again. Shikoku. Textiles. Kyushu. Can't go wrong with textiles. Tohoku. Fishing wharves. Tea plantations, tobacco plantations. And then finally, Hokkaido. You are successfully maxed out on gold mines. Smart. Let's do logging camps and tooling workshops. Alright, and this will give us a lot of leverage. We'll go ahead and... I do want to finish out our Power Bloc statues first. So I'll probably get a slow start on this stuff. We'll do half of them. We'll do half the Power Bloc statues, and the other half later. Half the remaining Power Bloc statues. So then once we've built up that huge industrial expansion in Japan, that'll give us a bunch of leverage. Production and agitation. In collaboration with the Catholic Party, Claudio dos Reis has secured a deal for cheap and quickly distributed pamphlets in support of the party. The interior of the carriage held a pleasant surprise. A crate of several thousand pamphlets, printed on an industrial scale, each with instructions on the voting process and a cheaply copied logo of the Catholic Party. They made a hefty weight, and he hoped would turn out to be an equally sized benefit. Bury our opponents in a sea of paper, 20% momentum to the Catholic Party. Wonderful. Russia's occupied a bunch of British territory in Asia. And there's the election. So, government is actually up to righteous, so that's good. Can't get better than this, so we'll stay exactly where we are. The Treaty of Bogota. New Grenada and Brazil have signed a border treaty codifying their respective borders and consolidating more of the northern Amazon under Brazilian control. Same thing with Peru, Bolivia. Oh, Brazil is growing sillier in shape. Excellent. Perfect. I love it when countries are silly shaped. Nice. All those businesses getting built in Japan are going to give us a lot of leverage. So, Mexico. Time to become a protectorate. Or time to become a puppet. Shabam zone. And we'll evangelize. Actually, how much of Mexico is Catholic, actually? Hey, there's Cameron. Wonderful. Virtually all, actually. I don't think we need to evangelize. Cool. I mean, not that we needed to anyway, but I don't think there's any benefit to evangelizing. Ooh, combustion engine. Excellent. Alright, so, Arts Academy, take photos. But, now that we've got combustion engine, first of all, oil wells. We need more oil. There's the submarine, that's wonderful. And then motor industries, you can use that oil to make cars. Where's my motor industries? Here we are. Oh my goodness, demand is so high. Well, that should hopefully increase their productivity, but obviously now I've completely goofed myself on engines production. That's okay. That's okay, we can deal with this. We'll double the size of our motor industries in a bunch of different locations. And that's how we'll deal with it. And unfortunately, that's going to take a long time to build, but you know, it'll be fine. Let's actually import some engines. We'll bring them in from Prussia. Public transit complete. Roaring engines. With the invention and implementation of motor transportation, the question arises: should we focus on public or private transportation? Why should I have to sit on a bus or train with a stinky peasant? I should have my own means of transportation. The speed of the nation should not be left in the hands of the rich few. We need to keep the poor in mind. More automobiles are needed, 33% motor industry's throughput, or more public transportation, extra urban center throughput. Motor industry's throughput just feels like definitely the right thing. This Japanese national movement is at 75% militancy. So you know that's what they're doing. That's what we got going on. This number is not... I'm not loving it, to be honest. It's not great. Oh my goodness. A reactionary revolt in Bremen. And it's got a northern front. Because of what? Ah, because we're on both sides of them. Alright, beautiful. So, territorial army to the southern front. And interior defense force to the northern front. And that should be just fine. Although, actually, we have reached the end of this episode. We're very much over... Or not that far over, but even so. I've been caught up in a lot of things, but that is all we've got time for today, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.